everyone, I'm Erin, and this is While Our Kids Are Sleeping. I know you're wondering where Drew is. Well, you'll find out soon enough. I actually have a... Sorry. I actually have a guest with me today, and instead of telling you who it is, I'm just going to let them speak for themselves. So, welcome.
I am Batman.
Oh, well, so, yes, I am Batman.
So Drew's a dad, if you didn't know.
Yeah. So the theme of this show is going to be somewhat Batman.
Yeah.
And instantly, when we were talking about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get a mask. And so
that's why we're only just now filming this podcast. This was going to be our last podcast, and Andrew said, no. I got to get a mask.
I am Batman.
Oh, dear God. So, anywho, I had to get on Amazon and try to get a mask here at a decent time. And it actually wasn't supposed to be in here till Wednesday, and I think it got here Monday.
Okay, so the reason why I'm wearing this mask and we're doing Batman is because of the latest movie that just came out.
Yeah.
And basically, Erin went and saw it with her mom. I hadn't seen it, and she came home with just all kinds of like remarks, criticisms, things she liked about it, things she hated about it. And she goes, you have to watch it. And I was like, okay. So we totally forgot about it. And then when we started doing this podcast, she brought it up again, and she goes, it's on HBO Max. Won't you watch it? And we can talk about it on the podcast. And she can give her side. I can give my side. There is a little bit of conflict because we were talking about it this morning.
There is, yeah.
She got a little feisty. So, Erin, I want to take this mask off because I literally can't see because I wear glasses. So, you kind of explain what this Batman is without your opinion, though.
Okay. So, basically, what kind of struck this whole conversation was I went to go see it, like you said, with my mom. And I honestly didn't have high expectations for the movie. Not for any particular reason, just... I feel like movies have been letting me down a lot recently, so I kind of went in there with not too much of an expectation. And I came out with a whole lot of opinions about it, especially considering there hasn't been a Batman movie since the Dark Knight series or trilogy. So that's kind of where the whole, I guess, conversation started while we...
It's really nice to be able to see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I'm interrupting you, but like... I could not see at all. If you know me, my glasses are very important to me, and because my vision is basically horrible. But yes, so you went and saw it. You came back. You kind of told me all about what you liked and disliked about it. And I would say, okay, just a small disclaimer, like, again, in the previous episodes, we don't watch a lot of movies.
No.
I never really watched a lot of movies. I'm one of those guys that superhero movies really didn't attract me. I watched them. I enjoyed them like so much. I saw all the Dark Knight ones, but not one of the Ben Affleck ones. Mm-hmm. Like I haven't even seen Justice League or anything.
I did watch Justice League, but I didn't watch any of his movie. Yeah, his movie
own.
And then his with
So
Superman,
our timelines could be totally off because we didn't see any of them. Because but
oh yeah, that's bad. I just said there hasn't been a Batman movie since the Dark Knight, and that was not true.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck did bring out a Batman movie, and then he did the Batman versus Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I did see the Batman versus Superman movie, but it was one of those things, when you put a movie on and you're doing other things while the movie's playing, so you weren't really.
That really just tells you the movie
it.
Wasn't that good.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry, anybody that likes it, but
I did see the Henry Cavill Superman movie and big fan, loved it. But because I didn't, like you said, I didn't go and see the Ben Affleck movie, I guess I just didn't, I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't really connect to it.
I didn't connect to it. I should have gone and watched Ben Affleck's and then watched the Batman vs. Superman. Maybe I'll do that next.
Yeah. But I know your mom really is into it. Your brother's really into it. And
my brother's a big comic, like he's the comic book nerd. Sorry, Craig, if I called you a nerd, but he's really into comic books. He knows, backstories that I have no idea about anything. But if you want like a real critique,
he might cringe at this episode if he listens to it, because this is truly our opinion.
I did have a conversation with Craig though, and so he did give me a couple little understandings of certain things, but he might cringe at my opinion.
He might cringe at my opinion, so I apologize in advance. But the new one came out, The Batman. It's really funny. I always kind of, and this is where I'm not a good fan, is like there's just so many. Like, you have Spider-Man. There's 3 different types of Spider-Mans that have been made in the last 10 years. You have 3 different...
20 years, babe.
Well, whichever. You know what I'm trying to say. 4 different Batmans.
Mm-hmm.
You had Ben Affleck. He was 2 different superheroes at one time.
He was a Daredevil. I actually really liked him as Daredevil.
Yeah.
I felt like the writing was not great, but him as an actor, he did great as the Daredevil. I have nothing to say bad about that.
Yeah. So, so this is again 100% our opinion. But I did watch The Batman last night, and I'll tell you how I felt about it. But the night before, just so I can kind of have something to compare to, I did watch Dark Knight, which was the one with Heath Ledger as Joker in it, and Christian Bale as Batman, as you know, and all that. So I did watch that one to kind of, because that's probably one of my favorites, just because I think that's a lot of people's favorites. Again, I am I like more of drama movies. I like more like that kind of stuff. Like, I like fantasy. I like superheroes, and I like, a good like series story, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is where it continues to go. But if you were to ask me like our top 5 movies, a lot of people didn't like mine because they were just really,
they were
deep drama movies. Yours
yeah.
were more of like, action pack, fantasy, kind of a lot more.
There's movies people are going to go to the theater.
Exactly, a lot more fans like them. Yeah.
So, like you said, Dark Knight probably is a lot of people's one of their favorite superhero movies.
Yeah, it's one of their favorites. So I rewatched that one. Really liked it. Thought it was good. There's a lot of quotable scenes, like, do you want to see a magic trick, and why so serious? Like, it's just kind of brought me back because I hadn't seen it in a while. Saw it multiple times, so I did like it. But The Batman, I watched it last night, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I really, really liked it. I thought it was really, really good. Something that I have now said since Heath Ledger was the Joker was when I first heard that he was going to be the Joker, I literally said, are you kidding me? Like, this guy is going to be the Joker. There's no way. There's no way he's going to pull this off. I was very harsh about it. Yeah, skeptical. Great, great word for it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, they couldn't have gotten somebody that was like already has an evil vibe. Like, I always kind of Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
And
10 Things I Hate About You.
Exactly. So I was like, this guy was going to be the Joker, and he literally was phenomenal in it. And so I thought he was
iconic,
great.
Yeah.
So from that moment on, when somebody is cast for a role that I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm like, nope, Heath Ledger proved me wrong. So Robert Pattinson, did I say that right? Pattinson, apologies. Him being cast as Batman, I'm not going to lie, at first I was like, really?
That's one of my talking points too, is Ben Affleck, I get it. He's got the body build for it. He's got the facial structure for it. He's got
Bruce
that masculinity.
Wayne like Christian Bale and him both are like Bruce
they have
Wayne,
that Bruce
definitely.
Wayne vibe for sure. But when they told me Robert Pattinson, the guy who plays Edward Cullen from Twilight,
the guy's face that glows.
Yeah, I mean, the writing in Twilight was so bad. I'm pretty sure my 5-year-old could have done a better job of screenwriting that movie. But I mean, it's just crazy to me that you have books.
Could you imagine what Captain would have said?
Captain was like, yeah, I could have done better.
Dinosaur got him and ate him. Yeah, anyways.
That would have been it.
It would probably been in the movie.
It's just funny to me is you literally have books to outline a screenplay for you, and that's how bad it was. Just, anyways, I'm not going to get into that right now, but that's what I'm thinking
But you watched every one of them, though.
Well, I watched every one of them because I read all the books when I was in high school, and the books are 10 times better than the movies. Now as an adult, I wouldn't read the books. They're definitely a young adult type genre.
So you're saying
It's
that
not something
the
I'd read
Twilight
now.
books are not part of the 415 that you read this year?
They are not. I have not read those books since I was probably a junior in high school.
Good.
So
I don't know why I'm a little proud of you. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
I've jumped over the young adult genre. I am now firmly in the adult genre books. Okay, there's some things I can't read anymore.
Yeah.
It's just a little too juvenile. I'll never read a Nicholas Sparks book. Sorry, guys, if you like Nicholas Sparks.
Okay, hold up.
I'll never read his books because they're juvenile
So,
and their
hold up.
writing is juvenile.
Okay, hold up. You're kind of like I've literally read 4 books that I can name off, and 2 of them were by Nicholas Sparks, and the other 2 was written by the guy that wrote Fault in Your Stars, and I can't think of his name right now. I can't believe I can't think of his name, but they were good. So you need to be quiet.
Listen, Fault in Our Stars was good. I'm not dissing that book. I'm saying that I couldn't
Paper
even read.
Towns. Sorry.
Listen, I couldn't even read Nicholas Sparks books when I was in high school because he writes so juvenile. It's so shallow to me. His writing is not very deep.
You're gonna hurt some people's feelings.
I
on that
know.
one.
I know. I'm sorry. It's not. I'm not going to
I
judge
can
you.
think of 2 people right now that are probably gonna watch this and be like, Erin.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not judging you. Okay. I have friends, even friends in high school who read his books, and that's fine. I did try to read a book and I just couldn't get into it.
He's not dark enough for you.
He's not. I like darker books. He was a little too cheesy for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, the point
remember
is,
this guy's name is John Green, I believe. Anyways, sorry.
anyways, so I was thinking the same
I read
thing.
books and I'm very proud of it. Go ahead. Sorry, babe.
So anyways, back to the Batman thing is when I'm thinking they're casting Robert Pattinson, I'm like, what in the world? And not that he's a bad actor, because he did play in other movies that
were crazy
that
good.
were good.
Yeah.
So I mean, he even was a side character in a Harry Potter movie as Cedric Diggory, which, to be honest with you, when I saw that, I was like, there's no way that's the same guy who played Edward Cullen, because that's how bad the makeup was in Twilight. But it was the same kid. He was a kid then. He's not a kid anymore.
That's probably my favorite Harry Potter movie.
The Goblet of Fire?
Yeah.
That's a lot of guys' favorite movies. It's just with the dragons and a lot of
What was the competition
part,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
But so he's played in other things as side roles and as, main roles. And what was that movie about 9/11 that he played in?
Oh, gosh. I know what you're talking about because Homegirl from Lost was in it.
I feel like I need to Google it right now, or I'm not doing him justice.
But yeah, no, I'm with you.
But you know what I'm saying? He's played in good movies. I know he's an actor,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't look at him and say, you're going to be a superhero.
And Batman and that.
And
'cause
Batman,
Batman's just
yeah.
such a big role. But
And he had to beef up for that movie, definitely. He's not like,
He had to
he's
be
tall, beef up. Like, he's
I thought
tall.
you said something totally different.
Good
Go
Lord.
ahead.
He's tall. He's a tall guy,
Oh, yeah,
but he's not a hefty guy.
Yeah.
He's
No,
more
you're right.
lanky in build.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, he's been in other movies. I can't think of them all, but phenomenal actor. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, but it is the first thing you think about is Twilight.
Yeah.
The first thing you think about is maybe even the Harry Potter role that he was in. And that's gonna be your Batman. I was like, okay, but. Like I said, Heath Ledger changed that for me personally. It's like, what? Anybody can play any role. And if they are just, really committed, are really, really into it, they're going to do a phenomenal job. Heath Ledger was a method actor, so he got into it. I'm not sure if Robert Pattinson did. I might say his name wrong this whole time. But anyways, I thought he did a phenomenal job. A lot of people may have not liked how he portrayed himself as Bruce Wayne. Maybe, whichever. But I actually felt like in that movie, there wasn't a lot of Bruce Wayne moments. It was literally him as the Batman trying to figure out, I'm not going to spoil it if it's still somewhat new, but trying to figure out who's doing the crimes and how he's going to do it all, resolve it all and fight the bad guy, if you want to call it. But
That's what I talked about with Craig, and he gave me a little light on this part. As I said, he was a good Batman. I really enjoyed him as Batman. I thought he had the voice down. I thought he just played that role well, but I was not sold on his Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And Craig said, yeah, I see that. I wasn't sold on it either, but if they're doing this movie as if he's just starting off as Batman, like if this is his first year or two of being the Batman, then that Bruce Wayne wouldn't have been the philanthropist kind of playboy role that like Christian Bale played.
Yeah.
He would have been more of a kind of reserved, reclusive kind of guy. Hurt kind of guy. So if that is what they were trying to accomplish with his role, then he did a good job of that.
Yeah, and
but
I think
as the Bruce, and as the Bruce Wayne we grew up seeing, or the Bruce Wayne that we know, even from like George Clooney days, or farther into the comic book days, you're thinking more of a playboy philanthropist, Bruce Wayne, the kind of guy that
the guy that's in the spotlight. That's all. When he walks in public, they see Bruce Wayne. The ladies freak out. The
He's
guys
confident,
wish that they were him. But this okay.
Sorry.
This role and this how they did it is. I'm trying not to give away stuff, but there is a character that has already technically been captured, and the Batman revisits him. So that kind of told me that, wait a minute, they are starting in the middle of where he is as the Batman, and how some people didn't like him because he's never unmasked. They didn't know who he was and stuff like that. So I guess a part of me goes, we're already kind of into the story, which, the main bad guy, if you want to call him that, villain, is the Riddler. And I thought they did really well. I thought the story was really well done. I was really hesitant about Alfred, and I was really hesitant about some other key Commissioner Gordon, he's not Commissioner, he's Lieutenant Gordon in this one. So
that's another sign that maybe it definitely was a beginning of the Batman days.
And I love Andy Serkis.
Serkis, you said it right. Okay. Yeah.
I love him. I think he's phenomenal. I think it was a little, Alfred wasn't Michael Caine.
I know.
And so that was very just like, oh man, this is weird. But I thought he did a phenomenal job, not trying to outdo Michael Caine.
And he wasn't trying to be Michael Caine.
Exactly.
But see, that's something, if you know anything about Andy Serkis, he is the guy who played Gollum / Smeagol in the Harry Potter. Good Lord.
Oh.
I cannot believe I just said that. In the Lord of the Rings
curse
movies.
Words in this household.
So sorry. I feel like I need to go wash my mouth out with soap or something. But anyways, he played Gollum / Smeagol in the Lord of the Rings. And if you've ever seen the behind the scenes of how he portrayed that character, what he did was insane. They had him in this full bodysuit, and they had like these little points on different spots all over his body.
That's usually either a blue or a green, so then they can CG
it was blue.
Out.
And all of the movements that Gollum did, that was actually him. He was hanging out, almost on like all fours all the time.
Yeah.
And he was just, you can't deny the brilliance of the ability that
the commitment he has to his roles are just phenomenal.
He's a brilliant actor, so I was very excited to see him.
Yeah,
in the
and
movie.
I didn't realize until we watched it. Like I don't know why. Maybe I had heard that he was in it or what, but I didn't realize it. I said Andrew. Wow. I said Erin. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Andy Serkis. I was like, heck yeah, the guy that played Gordon, Lieutenant Gordon. What was his name?
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. Sweet. I just thought he did a phenomenal job. Again, just like with Alfred, he didn't try to outdo the previous guy that played his role. I thought he did a really well done job. He was really, really just not quiet, but just like deep and serious. And that kind of leads me to my next point is this Batman we thought that Dark Knight was dark. This one was extremely dark.
I agree. And
again, I'm kind of like you. I loved it. And that's why I liked it is that, yes, the comics are, they're cartoons. They have more life in them. You see them, a lot more details. They're bright and all because they're trying to get your attention. But just knowing who the character that the Batman is and knowing everyone that's around him, and that at one point everyone hated him and it was a lonely life for Bruce Wayne and all that, like where they came in at and how dark it was, I thought it was brilliant. I really liked it. I I might have to rewatch it one more time to kind of say maybe that's my favorite. Because I don't want to sit here and say, oh, this is my favorite after watching it one time when I've watched the others multiple times. But it's kind of hard not to go ahead and say that. But I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was great. Now this is where we kind of disagree. This is going to be fun. So Catwoman, Erin did not like Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz.
She did not like it at all.
Listen,
and
I like Zoe Kravitz as an actress. I've seen her in other things, and I've never thought, oh, she did a terrible job as an actress.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, when I found out she was going to be Catwoman, I was actually a little bit like, okay, this is going to be cool. She has that Halle Berry vibe to me, like her look, not necessarily her as a person. And I thought Halle Berry looked the part of Catwoman. In terms of, she had that panther cat-like movement to her body whenever she played Catwoman. I can't say that I really cared for that movie that much, or that she was a great Catwoman.
Yeah, it was actually terrible.
Yeah,
it had horrible reviews.
I don't think I
never
cared
saw
for
it,
it. I saw it. I don't think I really cared for it. It's not memorable to me, which tells you that it probably wasn't that great. And but I thought that she did a good job, kind of moving her body and acting like a cat. And so Zoe Kravitz kind of gave me that same like vibe in my head. I was like, maybe she'll
see the potential.
I could see the potential.
Yeah.
And I do not think she executed it very well. I felt like she wasn't even a really good thief. She did nail down the whole selfish part in terms of Catwoman is kind of known to be looking out for herself and her own agenda. And her own agenda was to first find her friend Annika and then avenge her friend Annika. So she did kind of stick to that. She didn't really care about what Batman was caring about, which was actually trying to catch this killer and try to prevent more deaths. She really was just out for her own agenda. And that's something Catwoman, I guess, would be known for doing. But I don't know. She didn't give me a good feeling. I didn't like her. She didn't give me a likable feeling at all. I can't say I liked her. I felt like she didn't have any finesse, any confidence. She was, like I said, not even a really good thief. And she had no chemistry with Robert Pattinson. And I don't think that they were trying to make some great love story out of the two, but they did try to incorporate some kind of attraction there because Catwoman is supposed to be an attractive person. So I think they were trying to make some kind of attraction there that wasn't already there. So you either have to decide whether you're going to recast Catwoman into someone who's going to have chemistry with Robert Pattinson, or if you're going to recast Batman to find someone who has chemistry with Zoe Kravitz. But they just didn't have chemistry together as people prior to, and you can tell when people just have that natural chemistry, and they didn't have it at all. I didn't think they even had the natural chemistry to work together well. Which is different because I thought, whether you liked Anne Hathaway as Catwoman or not, which I did, I thought she did a good job. He doesn't think she did, but I thought she had that sassy, sexy kind of confidence about her. She was really good at banter with Christian Bale, and her and Christian Bale had somewhat of a, if not an attraction chemistry, they definitely had a friendship chemistry.
Yeah.
And so them playing off of each other did really well. I do not think Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson did that well. So,
well, okay. So this is my take real quick, and so to go back, Halle Berry. I never saw the movie. I heard horrible reviews about it. So I'm kind of those people who's like, man, if it had that many bad reviews, I'm not going to waste my time. So I can't really speak in her being Catwoman. You had others. You had Anne Hathaway, Zoe, and all of them. And I think there's a few down, in the past. But I'm going to more speak onto the more recent movies. I truly feel like they haven't found a Catwoman. And so I think that they haven't found a Catwoman, but I also don't think Zoe Kravitz did bad. And this is why I don't think she did bad, is that, yes, we're in the middle of this, and we're in the middle of, this storyline with Batman. He hasn't shown any love attraction to anybody. He seems just really depressed or really just down about whatever happened to his family, so on and so forth. He's trying to figure out why this villain is trying to come after him personally. And then she's in the midst of it all. I felt like she played the role I thought she played the role okay and good, and I compared to just getting what she wanted, kissing him, in those couple scenes where you're just like, there's no chemistry there. Are you kidding me? Well, that was just that, in my opinion, as that character, that was what she's just trying to get something out of him.
The first time, yes. That kiss at the end was trying to make some kind of connection that wasn't there.
Maybe it was, and maybe she just kissed him to say goodbye, see you later, because she drove away, whatever. I just don't think she did a bad job. I don't think, I wasn't trying to look for the chemistry between them two. I was more looking at okay, where's this going to go, and so on and so forth. So I don't feel like she did a bad job. I think, they rarely showed her with cats. That kind of bothered me a little bit. There's only two scenes.
She left her cats at the end of the movie.
And she grabbed one. She grabbed one of the cats. I
guess she didn't care about the rest of them.
I guess the other ones would find her somehow. But I don't know. I don't think she did bad. I think when you told me, oh my gosh, she was terrible, I just didn't like it. I'm the same way. I think she's a great actress. I think Anne Hathaway's a phenomenal actress. I just thought that she didn't. It was not memorable for me. Mm-hmm. I can't even tell you what her role was and how she even affected anything with it. So,
I felt like that whole movie, The Dark Knight Rises, had so much in it.
They also knew it was going to be the last one, and all the time when Hollywood, our writers and all that are so pressured to put so much in one movie, you're going to end up having either a great storyline and then 2 or 3 storylines going, what the heck?
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what was going on there.
I feel like that's what was happening there.
I felt like there were probably 3 storylines that could have been 3 different movies, but
I don't think she did a bad job. I think Zoe Kravitz did pretty well for the role. I think she accomplished what that character is.
I think they could have hired. I think they could have brought in any actress to play her role without being Catwoman, and it would have been fine. I don't even think they needed it to be Catwoman for all that she did in the movie.
And here's the thing: they never once said Catwoman. She just said she liked cats. She liked strays.
But she dressed up like Catwoman. She had the cat claw nails. You're right.
And she had the little ears and stuff.
Yeah. They were getting at it.
But I think, like you were saying, thief-wise, I thought she was a great one. She went into that one guy's house. Now the Batman also followed her.
Exactly. A real thief would be realizing somebody's following them. He was on a motorcycle right behind her. He followed her to her house. Come on.
I know, but
you're on a motorcycle. There's a motorcycle swerving traffic.
You're also in a
following
motorcycle. It's loud. You're not going to sit here and go, there might be another one behind me.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. In the long run, it didn't bother me. It didn't go, man, she just she ruined the role. I just think that it's at the point now is that there really hasn't been a Catwoman, again, my opinion, that has been memorable for me. That went, that's it. Now, for instance, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, I think is her name. Mm-hmm. She's spot on.
Spot on. Wonder
She's
Woman.
Spot on.
They
Scarlett
cast her
Johansson
really well.
as the
Black Widow.
Black Widow, spot on. They found it so.
But they've also never done another Black Widow. They've had other Wonder Womans in the past.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think they hyped up Zoe Kravitz so much for this movie that I was expecting something, and I got well below what I was expecting, and I felt like they had her acting cringy in my head. I think they need to stop trying to do a Catwoman at this point. I'd rather see a Robin.
Yes.
I haven't seen a Robin, and I'd rather see a Robin. I'm glad you said it,
because I was going to bring that up, is that what hurt me the most, again, another side story that went nowhere and you never got to see what happened, was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Thank you.
In Dark Knight Rises.
He was, in Dark Knight Rises. I think
It was Dark Knight Rises. It was the
Yeah, I
end
was
of Dark
trying to
Knight
think if he was in the
Rises.
other one before.
I don't think
I don't think so. Anyways, he was in that, and then at the end, like, basically, hey, this is going to be Robin. You're like, heck yes, this is going to be awesome. Think he probably would have done a phenomenal job.
Oh, yeah, he would have done
but
great.
It just
It was
done.
over. It was done.
It was just like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I was so disappointed about that.
But my main point is I don't think she did a bad job. The kisses didn't bother me. I guess this is the dude side of me. I didn't really care if there was chemistry or not. I think he's Batman, and I think he didn't really care himself. I think Bruce Wayne is just like, you know what? Hey, she kissed me. I'm going to move on. I don't care. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I think how they ended that movie was perfect. And what I mean by that is that he's narrating and he's talking about, being there for the city. And then he comes to the decision of technically running away and hiding again or showing his face. And again, we kind of given away some of the movie. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was very well done.
I don't think I would have cared about the kisses either if they didn't change the music. They did change the music
That's
during
true.
those scenes to try to make it kind of that romance
and
music.
It could have been just a bad call in the sound editor or music editor or whatever, and they just thought, hey, we'll just change the music here. But didn't bother me. I thought she did a good job. If she were to appear again, I think it might help her. And what I mean by that is that any character that goes away and then comes back, as corny as it sounds, they've had experience in life. And so therefore she could come back as even maybe a better, and maybe that's another storyline or so. I don't know.
I think it'd be fine if they just left her to never come back and we just move forward.
I know.
I think that would be fine because in general, I did like the movie too. I thought the storyline was really interesting. It was dark. It was gritty. I like Andy Serkis. I like Jeffrey Wright. Mm-hmm. I ended up liking Robert Pattinson.
I mean, and just to mention it briefly, because we definitely got to get into our favorite five. Colin Farrell as the Penguin and not realizing that was who it was is insane. I think, wow, holy crap, he'll definitely probably return because
they did a great job
again.
With that
besides Batman and the Riddler, they never really outright said, "Oh, he's the Penguin." Now they did say they called him Penguin, but like outright said he's a villain. He's the Penguin. Yeah. She's Catwoman. She's we don't know what she is, a villain or what. She's a thief or whatever. Is she a hero? We don't know. They never showed a Robin in it. Whatever. I'm just saying, like, I just thought it was very well.
There's plenty of avenues they can go.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do. I hope they do something with it. Mm-hmm. I think how much they've invested into this one and how it's kind of like totally different than the others. It's really dark. It's going to attract, I think, what a lot of people want to see now. I just thought they did a very well done job. But yeah, I liked it. This is definitely a Batman episode. I think it's kind of funny. But we wanted to talk about this. Is literally a conversation we would have had after watching it.
We actually kind of did have this conversation.
But we were save it for the podcast. Erin hates, Zoe Kravitz. I thought she was great.
Gosh, I didn't hate her. I just didn't necessarily like her. I think we would have been fine without her.
Okay.
I would probably preferred it without her. Sorry. Unpopular opinion, whatever.
Yeah. But we'll see. Comment. Tell us what you thought. If you've seen the movie, if you liked any of it, if you hated it, or don't comment and see us out and about and tell us we're terrible people for thinking it was awesome or terrible people for
not liking Zoe Kravitz.
And me saying Anne Hathaway wasn't a great Catwoman. I don't know. Just didn't.
You don't have to listen to him.
Yeah. But yeah, so
favorite five.
Okay, let's do it.
We wanted to keep on this superhero theme, so I thought of the idea to list our favorite five actors who've played a superhero character. And what I mean by this is your favorite five people who have gone into an acting role and just showed out. They made you
just
love.
Superheroes, or are we doing any kind of character?
We can do any character. You can do superhero, villain, or side character.
Side character, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of, I think I knew that's the way we were going to go because this was kind of like your idea. I'll go first.
Go for it.
Lately my top fives have been, our favorite fives have been just garbage. Erin's been kicking my butt, so hopefully this one will turn things around. So I'll go ahead and go, and I'll start with my number 5 is Hugh Jackman. Really like him as Wolverine. I would say I kind of had that vibe, like the Heath Ledger effect, I guess I'm going to say.
Some of us were too young to know the difference.
Well, I just saw him in previous movies, and I was like, he's going to be that guy. Cool. All right, whatever. Moved on from it. I think what won me, though, was literally the last movie they made, Logan. Just how they tied everything together. It was just so good. And they brought in that side character, the little girl, the girl that was with him. And it just showed everything. I just thought it was really well done. It was actually really had a cinematic like farewell, if you want to call that.
Hugh Jackman is just an icon.
I think he did
as
phenomenal.
Wolverine.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
icon, yeah.
And all in all, he's just like, if you think about it, like all that he's done, he's just a tremendous like
versatile actor.
Yeah. So number 5, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. Number 4, I'm going to go with Chris Pratt, Peter Quill, which is also known as Star-Lord. I truly just think that he is spot on the comedic, I guess the serious moments, if you want to call it. Like, I mean, he can literally do it all for this character. From the get-go, from when he's dancing in the cave and he's getting
that's one of my favorite scenes. The music they have to it is perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah. And Chris Pratt just has that like silly vibe to him. If you ever saw him in Parks and Rec, gosh,
so good.
Yeah, he's such a good comedian.
Yeah, I mean, he's done other movies too that are just Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, or whatever. He's in those, again, bringing the same thing, being funny, but also having that really good, serious, like adventurous kind of like mood. I guess he was saying. Anyways, this is Drew's terminology here.
Drew has his own set of terminology. One day we'll write a dictionary so you can all follow along.
But so Hugh Jackman, Chris Pratt. My third one is going to be hands down my favorite Spider-Man, Tom Holland. I don't get me wrong, Andrew Garfield was really good. I actually enjoyed him. I thought he did very well. I actually thought he did phenomenal. But when Tom Holland came on, I was like, okay, this is our Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, fits the age, the look of the age that Spider-Man is supposed to be. I think the last 3 movies, I mean, just spot on. The last movie, if you haven't seen it, sorry, I'm about to give you a spoiler, when everyone just like erases all their memories of him and now he's going to start over, and then they show him in the true original Spider-Man
the
suit,
dark,
and it's the light blue instead of the dark blue, and it's just like a starting over. I'm like, heck yes, I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with that.
I think we're finally going to see a darker side of Tom Holland come out as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which I've enjoyed his teenage Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
spot on, but I'm excited to see where he's going.
I think Tom Holland's just brilliant. I think, like, man, just to not even have an American accent and then just literally just like kill on being Peter Parker. It's just brilliant. I think he does a phenomenal job. Hands down, my favorite Spider-Man. Number 2, I'm going to go, I've mentioned him all episode, is Heath Ledger as the Joker. He's my only villain on here, but just the way he just performed as the Joker. Like I said before, he was a method actor. So, like, he was even scaring people on the set, being the Joker. And so... But my number 1, I just think this guy took this role and made it just perfect. I think he is just... I can't imagine this character being done by anybody else. And I've heard some rumors of people that could be doing it, and it makes me angry. But I think Captain would agree with me on this one. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. No doubt, my number 1. I don't even know how to explain, just like spot on, was literally born for this role, in my opinion. And he
took Tony Stark and became Tony Stark. Like, you think of Robert Downey Jr., you think Tony Stark. You think Iron Man. There's almost no differentiating him between Tony Stark. And I think this was one of the first big roles he had after a big kind of rock bottom.
Yeah, and I think he just went 100 trillion% into it, and I think he did a phenomenal job. I don't want to... I've heard Tom Cruise potentially being Iron Man. I would literally be livid if that's the case. Nothing against Tom Cruise. It's just...
I like Tom Cruise as an
Iron
actor.
Man,
He's fine, but...
Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. All three the same people in my opinion. So that's my top 5. Hugh Jackman. My mind just went blank. Chris Pratt, Hugh Jackman, Chris Pratt, Heath Ledger, Tom Holland, and Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
I probably said them out of order, but anyways.
Who cares?
So those are none. So what you got for me, love?
So ours are actually really similar. I think I only have 1 or 2 that are different. So for the sake of that, I'm going to tie my number 5. Hugh Jackman is also number 5 for me.
Nice.
And he is tied with Don Cheadle as James Rhodes in the Iron Man. Terrence Howard was first cast in the first Iron Man as James Rhodes. He was all right. I didn't really connect with him. But when they brought in Don Cheadle for Iron Man 2, I just thought he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And he continued on for all the Avengers movies, all the other Iron Man movies. And I just felt like he had this presence about him. He was a good, I don't want to say sidekick, but a good kind of sidekick for Iron Man. And he was an emotional support for Iron Man. He was also the kind of person that would kick him in the butt and say, you need to get off your butt. You need to do something. I think that he inhabited that role really well. My number 4 is Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
Nice.
I know.
I like that one.
I don't know what it is about him, because it's not that I don't necessarily love the Thor movies. They're okay. They're fine.
Yeah.
I like them enough that I've watched them all, but except the most recent one, I haven't seen that because I'm not going to pay to see it in theaters. But maybe when it comes out, I'll watch it. But he just is such a likable villain.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
He's got this comedian vibe about him that I never thought I would see from Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
But he just did such a good job.
Yeah, I think he killed it.
He kept me
he
interested.
he would be one of my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
It was hard for me not to put him in, but it's just, yeah.
Such a good job.
Such a great.
So that was my 4. Number 3 is Tom Holland as well. I, with a strong passion, dislike Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I know I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm crazy, but I don't know what it was about him, but he just was not a good Spider-Man to me. He was kind of weak, in my opinion, and
I think what he got from me was he was the first Spider-Man, so like that's pretty iconic in its own.
Yeah.
It's like you were the first Spider-Man, so a lot of people hold on to that, like he is Spider-Man because he was the first one. But I mean, by 2 and 3, it was just went downhill bad.
Yeah, I didn't think he really played Spider-Man well. When I think of Spider-Man, I don't think of Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
He didn't fit that role to me.
Yeah.
Nothing against him as an actor. It was cool to see him come back in that little cameo in the last Spider-Man because he's an iconic in his own way.
Yeah.
As Spider-Man, I just didn't care for him as Spider-Man, and it was cool to see him come back that way. And I do also like my mind just went blank.
Andrew Garfield. Yeah.
I really liked him as Spider-Man as well. But when Tom Holland came on the scene in the Avengers movie, it was Civil Wars, wasn't it?
Civil Wars, I think, was the first time he was seen. Yes.
Yes, Civil Wars. And I was just like, man.
He killed it.
He killed it. Yeah, he did such a good job. Yeah,
from start till the last movie, I think it's just been spot on.
Yeah.
So
he did such a good job. I was like, that is a teenage Spider-Man, bar none. He really...
It's the way it should have been.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The other two, I hate to say, they did a good job, but they did a good job. But it's just like when I think of Spider-Man, I think of a certain age. And I think of like a high school, which so was our Andrew Garfield, but he just seemed had more of a college vibe to me. But
when it clicks, it clicks.
Yeah, Tom Holland just clicked.
He clicked. He had that immaturity, kind of curious teenage vibe about him, and he did it well.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Heath Ledger.
Nice.
Again.
I think we have the same top 3.
We do. Tom Holland, Heath Ledger, and Robert Downey. Robert Downey is my number 1.
Nice.
He already explained.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump.
Yeah, no, it's fine. He already explained Heath Ledger. I think anybody who has seen Heath Ledger as the Joker just knows he infiltrated that role and became that role.
I always say that when you're watching a movie or a TV show and you forget that person is not that character. And what I mean, like Joffrey in Game of Thrones that kid, if I saw him on the street, I would despise him because I would only think that he was Joffrey. I mean, that means that you are, I've been saying it all, phenomenal actor or actress. And I think Heath Ledger, when I was watching that, I didn't once think, wow, this is Heath Ledger. I'm like, wow, this is insane. This is such a dark Joker. I love it. And so, yeah.
And then my number one is Robert Downey.
Yeah.
Again, there's not words for how well he played Iron Man. I mean, if you've never seen the Avengers Endgame, turn the podcast off right now if you don't want to get any spoilers. But when he died, when he sacrificed himself,
the way
he did it, you just saw so much growth from the first Iron Man all the way to Endgame. You saw so much growth in character and just emotionally and growth as a person to set aside his narcissistic ways and pick up the mantle of being like a mentor for Spider-Man and then sacrificing himself when he finally had his wife and a child. He sacrificed himself for the greater good, if you will, which is what heroes are known for. They're known for setting aside everything and sacrificing themselves for the greater good. And he fully inhabited that. And everybody, I think, was in tears when he died. If you're a superhero fan, if you're Avengers fan, a Marvel fan, any of that, you had emotions for that. And then when you got to see them again, or you got to see him or mention him again in the last Spider-Man movie, you just feel that loss.
Yes.
I can't with you. And so I feel like that means, like you said, you have put your mark on cinema at some point. And Robert Downey Jr. did that. If he hadn't already done that, he did it with that. Yeah,
when he did I Am Iron Man and he snaps and then it just doesn't make it's just so good. So it's so hard to talk to me right now. I can't imagine what I look like. I can't wait to edit this. And
he actually can't see because he doesn't have glasses on, and he's blind.
Let's see if this works. It's probably not going to work.
Don't break your glasses.
No, and it looks stupid too.
Yeah, it does.
As I say that, it looks stupid. I'm wearing a mask. The boys have no clue that I got this, so I'm excited to show them.
Lion
tomorrow.
Will be scared.
Lion
he will hide.
Freak out, but Captain will love it. And Captain will probably want to wear it. I might not show them right away.
Let's not.
We've had a crazy week. So, but yeah, so this episode is definitely, I'm going to say nerd talk about, Batman.
Superheroes.
Batman stuff. But I thought it was a great one. I enjoyed it.
If you don't like superhero movies, you don't like Batman, I'm so sorry that you listened to our podcast this week.
Hopefully
next week won't be anything like this.
Hopefully it wasn't too boring. But so thanks for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Like Erin said, next week will be probably definitely more normal conversation. But she had saw this movie. I hadn't saw it. I wanted to see it. I saw it finally, and I was just like, this would be great. Just sit down and talk, because this is what we would have done on a normal night.
Also, I forgot to say, I have to mention my honorable mention, Michael Caine as Alfred. That's a good one. I wish I could have had him in my favorite 5 because I seriously wanted to adopt him as my own Alfred when I was a kid. I wanted him to be my own Alfred, to live in my house and be like my grandfather.
Yeah, you even named your card Alfred.
My very first car that I got after I graduated high school, I named it Alfred. Yes, I do name my cars. Let's not talk about that. But anyways, so yeah, he's a great honorable mention.
Anywho,
I like him as an actor in general. And anyways, but yeah, so end of conversation.
End of Erin,
end of podcast.
End of Erin talking about how she names her cars. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe on our YouTube channel. Go follow us on Instagram. We have a Facebook page. Check it out. I'm thinking about getting on TikTok. Maybe. I don't know. If we should get on TikTok, let us know. I don't know if anyone would care. But yeah, follow us on all those.
He always throws these little things out that I have no idea he's going to do.
So yeah, subscribe to YouTube, follow Instagram, check us out on Facebook. But
we're also on Spotify and Apple.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people listen. So if you've been listening and wondering what the heck is going on, I'm wearing a Batman mask right now.
I forgot to explain that.
I'm so
sorry.
So all those that were listening probably going like, wow, these people are so not considerate of the listeners. So but yeah, so everyone, thanks for watching while our kids are sleeping. We greatly appreciate it. Again, we will see you next time, and
see you next time.
It won't be Batman,
and he won't have a mask on.
Well, I don't know. I might. Anyways,
Anyways,
thanks for watching. We'll
Thanks.
see you later.
see ya.
I am Batman.
Oh God.